Pokemon X and Y are some of the best Pokemon games to date in my opinion, and are tied with Black and White 2 as my favorite main series Pokemon games. With Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire making up for many of Pokemon X and Y's faults, Generation 6 has turned out to be an amazing generation and is, in my opinion, probably the second best generation, only being beaten by Generation 5. X and Y sequels are just right around the corner, and all we're doing right now is waiting for Game Freak to officially announce them and give us more details. Many people have already made videos about speculation and listing some of their hopes for X and Y sequels. Today I will be doing just that. These will be in no particular order, and these are purely my own. With that said, let's begin. Number 1. More Legendaries and a better postgame in general. So basically, most people know that the postgame in X and Y was really bad. I mean, like, really small. And the amount of Legendaries was so small. There were only 6 Kalos native. You could get Xerneas or Yveltal, depending on what version of the game you got. Okay, and you could catch Zygarde, which didn't do much. You could catch Mewtwo, which was literally just sitting in a cave. You could catch one of the legendary birds, depending on what starter you chose. And 3 of the Kalos native Pokemon are event legendaries. Legendary capturing is one of my favorite parts of Pokemon. They had more legends you could catch. That'd be great. Maybe they could add more Kalos native ones. I really want that. They could add them in as DLC, add DLC to the other games to make them compatible in the new one. I know it's really unlikely, but I just really want more Kalos legends. Number 2, more variety and choices in clothing. So if you've played Pokemon X and Y, chances are you've played around with at least a little bit with the character customization. And the character customization, while kind of limiting, we did have quite a few choices at first, a little bit. Yes and no. The styles they only had a few styles, and I really felt like they could have done a bit more with it. And if you wanted to get some sort of different style than what you had at the beginning of the game, which was very limited, you have to wait a very long time before you got to another boutique. And I mean, the fancy boutique, which is like the second one you get to, even then, that one, you can't access until you have stylishness enough, and it's really expensive. And you don't have, usually getting enough money for them, you won't be able to do until much later in the game. You don't get to the wintry stuff until later, and, it's really annoying. That, and I feel like, even though, yeah, the boys did have a few less choices, because the girls had skirts, if you're a girl who doesn't like wearing skirts, which a lot of girls don't like wearing skirts, then you were stuck with a few, maybe t-shirts and parkas. There wasn't very much choice if you didn't like skirts, and maybe they could have some of the boys' clothing, at least some sort of version of it in the girls' clothing. It would have been really nice, and maybe a winter coat in the girls' clothing, I don't know. That, and maybe with the girls, I feel like maybe we should have been able to have a different bag than a purse, and maybe boys could have had a backpack or something. I don't know. It would have just been nice. Number 3, better online communication. So if you've been on the GTS at all, you know that they really need a summary button for Pokemon. They just really do, because a lot of people get cheated out of trades. It's just really ridiculous. And also, a lot of times people will put rare Pokemon on the GTS that are profanities, and young children see them. Okay, and the filter isn't really good. They won't let you put a Frostlass on the GTS unless it's nicknamed, because at the end of it might be mistaken for a profanity. And also, when it comes to trading online, I wish they had some sort of chat system. Game chat, yeah, but that only works with people you've registered friend codes with. And if you want protection, you can maybe have a parental control for it. Or you can just have like a typing one where you press a button, or you say something into the mic and then it's put into words, and the mic's pretty good with voice recognition, and then it would, it had some sort of chat filter like they do on Wizard 101. Number 4, more hidden places off to the side for exploration on routes and stuff. So basically, in Pokemon X and Y, they had a few locations that were just little hidden places off to the side in routes and towns. But there weren't very many that were actually good, in my opinion, and I really wish they had more. If they did add more, I hope that they wouldn't be ones that we were required to go, because then they aren't really hidden, and they kind of ruin some of their fun. Like Glittering Cave, I might have gone there on my own, but we had to go there for the story, and really there wasn't much there anyway, other than it was kind of an interesting cave. they had the Lost Hotel, but in my opinion, it's kind of annoying to get through and stuff. And, well, normally Pokemon games have a spooky mansion or something, but X and Y, the closest thing they had was the Lost Hotel. And, yeah, it wasn't really that spooky. And, and it would just be really cool to have some areas that were, like, hidden off to the side and had a fun little secret to them that most people didn't know about. That's why I love Lumio City. There's a lot of stuff to do, and I didn't know half the time what most of the stuff in there I could do, and once I've discovered it, it was pretty cool. But yeah, I just think it would be nice to have stuff like this in the game. Number 5, give answers to some unanswered mysteries. So basically, this is probably the biggest thing on my list. Here's the thing. There are a lot of unanswered questions that we had in X and Y that were like these little things. Like, what was the hiker doing? Like, what was he talking about? And what the heck is on this strange souvenir? What's the deal with the thing with the message and the kid at the train station in Lumios? What's inside the unopenable Kalos power plant thing? And how do we get in there? What's with the girl at Hotel Vershizime? What's with the Lumios City ghost girl? There are so many unanswered questions, and the ghost girl, yeah, we're probably not going to get answered. But, at least a few of those should be answered, in my opinion. I mean, that'd be great. I mean, a lot of them we're probably not going to. I mean, some of these will probably cut content. What's going on with them? There's so many unanswered questions. And, like, not even about lore, just about random stuff in the game that we are unanswered with. I'm really curious about the power plant, and maybe, like, the thing with the train station, and what's with the unused train station at Corryway Town. I mean, there's so many unanswered questions. That's it for today, guys. Thanks, guys, for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and tell me if you want me to do more of these. Bye.